Hey, Holly. Thank you for coming. Do you think that you won that fight?
I felt like she started a little strong, and I felt like I had the better of the last 3 rounds. I had her drop twice. I know I didn't do I know what my capabilities are. I know I didn't do as much damage as I wanted to do when I had her on the cage, but as far as kind of controlling the pace and controlling the fight, so yeah, the fight could have gone either way. I felt like I had 3 rounds, but I also had her rocked twice and didn't capitalize on it, and that's my own fault.
So you think you won 3, 4, and 5?
Yes.
Obviously a little controversial with those 2 punches that landed. Actually, it was 3. One big one, I think it was the end of the third and maybe end of the fourth or second and third, and then the 2. Yeah. Do you feel like a point should have been deducted after the first time that this happened? And if so, should another one have been deducted after the second time it happened?
You know, a lot of times with the first one, they give a warning. That's kind of normal. I wouldn't expect them to take a punch after the first one, even though it was intentional. And then the second time, you think that at that point they would do something. But I'm just one of those, I don't know, I'm one of those people that feels like I should not have let her done it anyway. Yes, it's after the bell. I hear the bell. I stopped and she threw. It wasn't like in the last punch of a combination when the bell rang. Like, it was intentional. It was after the bell. Those are some of her best shots of the whole night were after the bell, and I don't know how the judges saw that. If they see that as points for her, then, what can you do? It's like, I should have kept fighting too then. I mean, I should have really capitalized on moments when I did well and not even let her get to that point.
Do you think she did it on purpose?
Well, yeah. It's like I said, if it's one shot after the bell at the end of a combo, then yeah, that's an accident. Sometimes, you're in the flurry of it, but I still think I could have won the fight on my own.
Okay, and last thing, will you stick around at 145 now, or are you going back down to 135?
I'm sitting in a spot where my last 3 fights, I'm 0-3, so I'm going to take whatever they'll give me.
Okay, thank you.
Holly, can you talk about your execution tonight? And I mean, did you feel that you stuck to the game plan? You've mentioned in the past some hesitation sometimes with your combinations and things. Did you execute the game plan properly tonight?
No. A little better, but no. Part of that is just feeling the fight as it goes, and especially when I had her rocked and she literally dropped to her knees. I stood there in the clinch with her. That was stupid. I should have gone after her. Those are moments where, with experience in fighting, that this is the time to try and capitalize, and I didn't.
And you mentioned that the shots, those illegal shots, especially I think the one at the end of round 2, that they were intentional. Can you say how it impacted you? Because especially at the end of round 2, it looked like your knees buckled after she landed it.
She hit hard shots. She hit hard shots after the bell. I mean, those are the hardest shots I felt in the whole entire fight.
And lastly, for me, you guys were very respectful of each other all week, but you did say you think those are intentional. Have you lost a little bit of respect for her with those shots?
I guess I'd say so, but I mean, it's still a fight. I mean, I know she's not in there to try to be my friend either, so, but next time, I'll just be ready to throw back.
Well, that was my last question, but let me say, do you think there should be a next time? And we still really don't know what's going on with Cyborg, and there's a potential she could be out for a while. Do you think because of the way this thing played out, it seemed like people's scores were all over the board, the illegal shots, do you think maybe it warrants a rematch?
I think it warrants a rematch. I mean, I think when you have more than half the people saying that the fight should have gone the other way, usually that warrants a rematch, so that would be awesome.
I know you said you felt you won 3 rounds. We couldn't hear what your corner was saying. Was your corner telling you that you were up or down? Were they giving you advice between rounds?
My corner always wants me to do the best, so they were still telling me to, back off and strike with her, and I wasn't listening to them, and that was my fault. Because they just knew I could have capitalized even more. think it's twofold. I think I was kind of not fully committing to the takedown. I think that's, part of it. When you're going to go for a takedown, you have to commit to it. I think that was the biggest thing. And if I wasn't going to commit to it, I should have just stood back and striked. That was my flaw. I think that I would think that they would want to give a rematch. But like I said, my job is to train and fight, and their job is to promote. So I just hope I get the opportunity.
Hello, Holly. Over here. To your right. Here. What were some of the openings that you saw for yourself, and also the openings that your coaches saw for you that you feel you didn't quite capitalize upon?
I know what those are, but if we rematch,
Okay.
I don't really want to tell you.
All right. So what we'll say is, was there anything that she provided that you didn't anticipate, something that came as a surprise, whether it be her speed, quickness, punching power?
No, and that's what makes me the most frustrated is that, and I always say this, I'm always taught all the right things, and I could have even capitalized more to win because she did everything my coaches were telling me.
Okay, last question. So you had her well scouted. There were things that you knew that you could take care of, that you could capitalize upon. But what does it seem is the disconnect? Because from a strategy standpoint, it seems like your game plan is there, but over the last couple of bouts, you haven't been quite able to execute the way you wanted to. Like, what do you feel? Is it something internal? Is it perception? Or is it distraction?
I don't really have an answer.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Ali, you said before that you think you could have won the fight on your own anyway, but aren't you frustrated that the referee didn't, do the right thing and take a point away, and also issue an official warning the first time around?
Yes, those things probably should have been done. However, the fighter in me just thinks, how about let's just knock her out? I don't really like to put blame on there. Yes, those things, you look at the scoring, you look at how the ref's supposed to do it, you look at those things, yes. That could have changed the way the whole fight went, but I also could have capitalized when I had her hurt, and that could have changed the whole way the fight went.
Also, how did those punches affect you? Because like you said, those are probably your best punches of the fight, and since it's after the horn, you aren't defending yourself necessarily.
I mean, they're there. They were stingers, but I was still there, so I can't say that I couldn't perform because of that. I'm not going to sit there and make that an excuse. Thank you.
Well, Anderson, this was a very interesting fight, the way it played out. Derek, of course, was being very patient and not overly aggressive. How were you feeling as the fight was playing out? Were you getting frustrated at all, or were you happy with the way things were happening?
Como é que você estava se sentindo? A luta me parecia que estava sendo muito agressiva. O que você estava sentindo ali dentro na luta?
I have just one thing. I'm so happy. I'm so happy because, first of all, I love fight. Second one, sometimes when different people talk to me and say, why you don't stop? You don't need to prove nothing more. And I respond, because this is my air, this is my heart, fight is my life. And when I go inside the cage, I back to my 30 years old and just happy. I just stay happy because this is my life.
It was a very tough fight to score. How did you and your corner have the fight scored, and how confident were you when you were waiting to hear the decision that you had won?
Foi uma luta difícil de pontuar. Como é que estava a pontuação para você e para o teu corner? E você estava confiante ali com a decisão?
Yeah, I think I use more techniques and I move me more. In the last round, my opponent put him in the ground, but I'm more offensive and I attack more. I think this is a good question for the judge, no?
And last for me, afterwards, you were very emotional. You said that, people say you're too old, too slow, that sort of thing. For
A lot of people talk about it.
For a brief moment, it sounded like maybe you were going to retire. Did you think about that at all? Did you think for a moment that maybe this would be a great way to go out?
I'm old. I'm very old. The people, yeah, when the guys say, you're too old, this guy is too old. But, I have a lot of experience in, I have perfect time, This is more important.
Anderson, eu queria saber, foi uma entrada diferente, né? Você estava com uma música que era especial, teve os seus filhos ali no começo, teve aquela cena bonita de você abraçando o Calil e o Gabriel e entrando. Queria saber como é que foi essa entrada para você, né, esse retorno, e o que você estava sentindo ali naquele momento?
Estava muito feliz de poder fazer o que eu gosto, fazer o que eu amo. Lutar é meu ar, né? E apesar de estar chegando cada dia mais perto da minha carreira acabar como lutador, é meu ar. E estar junto com os meus filhos, eles estarem presentes sempre na minha vida. E às vezes eu acho que eu erro como pai, mas eu não sou perfeito. Mas eu estou muito feliz deles estarem podendo viver esse momento comigo, assim, é super legal.
Ali naquele momento do octógono, quando anunciaram o seu nome, né? Aquele choro foi um choro de alívio, foi um choro mais de felicidade? O que passou ali pela sua cabeça?
Acho que de felicidade, né? Muitos anos fazendo isso, muitos anos aqui dentro do UFC, podendo algumas vezes dar alegria, algumas vezes dar tristeza para algumas pessoas, né? Mas sempre feliz de poder fazer meu trabalho bem feito e voltar para minha família.
E a última pergunta, você tinha dito que gostaria de lutar no Brasil, né? Na sequência, você já consegue pensar assim, se você gostaria de voltar a lutar lá, e, enfim, se essa é uma coisa
Claro, com certeza. Mas agora meu foco é voltar para casa, ficar com a minha família e cuidar das minhas coisas paralelas ao UFC e é isso.
Anderson, ainda na questão da emoção no final, foi bem difícil, foi bem único assim ver você desse jeito emocionado. Assim, você acha que dá pra gente dizer que foi talvez a luta mais emocionante da tua vida?
Não foi a mais emocionante, mas foi bastante gratificante. Eu acho que eu sou um atleta feliz com o meu trabalho, um lutador completo, sabe? Eu acho que eu passei por todas as turbulências, todas as emoções possíveis dentro desse esporte, e possíveis e impossíveis. E a felicidade de estar ali em cima, podendo fazer o que eu gosto, fazendo o que eu amo, com a minha verdade, não tem preço. A emoção é sempre grande.
E com a questão da idade e, como você falou também, da galera ser um pouco mais rápida que você agora, você já pensa em mudar o preparo, o teu treino? O que você está pensando aí para...
Na verdade, não, né? Na verdade, assim, a galera é mais rápida, mas eu tenho um tempo melhor que eles, né? Não que eu seja melhor que algum deles, mas eu tenho tempo, né? Então, isso acaba sendo uma vantagem sobre a garotada que está chegando, né? Claro que vai ter uma hora em que eu vou ter que parar, mas ainda não chegou.
Anderson, in your past few fights, you seem to really explode at the end of rounds, doing a lot of wilder stuff, really letting loose, going on the offensive. Is that just the fight coming to you at that point in the rounds, or is that calculated risks trying to do the crazier stuff without worry about ending up in a bad position where you could lose by a submission or something like that?
Nas suas últimas lutas parece que você explode no final do round. Isso é uma coisa calculada? Você está calculando o risco ali ou ao decorrer da luta mesmo?
É uma característica... Oh, sorry. You know, this is my strategy, you know, and I talked a lot to my trainers in my team, and I using the time for help me, you know, and this is more strategy.
Anderson, was there a time during this fight where you felt 41 years old at all?
Teve algum momento que você se sentiu aos 41 anos dentro dessa luta?
Yeah. Yeah. The last round I said, oh my gosh, I'm an old man now. Jesus Christ. But I think this is not important because when I go inside the cage, I don't care. 41, 42, 43, I just put in my heart and let's go.
What are you going to tell the UFC about what you want to do next? What do you want to do?
O que você vai dizer para o UFC que você quer no próximo passo?
You know, so my next step is Dana. Thank you for giving the opportunity for fight again, and now I go back home.
You expect to fight again, though?
Yeah, of course, but my focus now is back to my family, back to see my wife and my kids, and I have a different focus outside the cage, you know, and I go back to home.
So is there not really a name out there that, you know, stokes the fire inside you, or you just want to leave it up to the UFC to assign that fighter to you?
Então não tem nenhum nome que imita essa chama?
No, I just waiting for my next challenge inside the cage, but now I need you rest a little bit. I'm old.
Thanks, Anderson.
Hello, Anderson. Over this way, right here. My question to you, this way, right here, over here. I'll stand up. All this week, a lot of people mention your age and some of the negative aspects that come with being an aging fighter. But there are also advantages that I assume that you've had in terms of all the cage time that you've accumulated. Can you speak to us about some of the positive things of being a fighter at this age, things that you may see that other younger fighters may not?
Durante essa semana todo mundo falou muito da sua idade, das desvantagens de ter a sua idade, mas também tem muita vantagem, né, da sua experiência ali dentro. Fala um pouco disso.
You know, I think this is the stay inside the mind. You know, in my mind, I'm joking all the time. When my friends say you old, I say yeah, I'm old, but I don't think this is very important because I have a good team for help me for training, and I have a good life, and all the time I keep straight my focus for my job when I go to fight, and I train a lot all day. I just joking when I talking about this. I say I'm old, but I just joking because in my mind I'm young.
Also, at one point in your career, you said one of the greatest challenges would be to face your clone, to face yourself. Now that you are the age where you are right now, do you find yourself looking at your performance and your training habits and everything, how you used to do it as a younger fighter versus now? And do you set the standard for yourself based upon what you used to be able to do?
Você antigamente falava que seu maior desafio seria enfrentar o seu clone, né? Hoje você olha para como você treinava antigamente, tudo que você fazia antigamente comparado ao como você faz hoje em dia?
Yeah, everything is the same. Everything is the same. But now I'm more smart because when I'm more young, I just don't pay attention for the movement, danger movement, and now I just quiet for the different movements, but it's the same.
Anderson, over here. I know it's fresh, but can you say definitively which rounds you thought you won?
Você pode dizer definitivamente quais rounds você acha que você venceu?
I think I win the 2 rounds. In the last rounds, I don't think so, but it's a good question for the judge because I defended takedown in the last round. My opponent put him in the ground, but I attacked more,
So you think you won the first and second?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, but it's a good question for the judge.
When they announced that you won, were you surprised or were you expecting to win?
Quando você anunciaram ali que você venceu, você ficou surpreso ou você já esperava?
No, I just happy because I put in my focus and I talked to my coach, and my coach say, you win the 2 rounds, just keep straight your focus for the last one. And but my opponent is the good fighter, is young, is good fighter. I just say thank you for Derek Bronson for giving the opportunity for fighting.
And were you happy with your performance? Like when you look at the fight overall, are you happy with it?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy because I do my best, and I just happy. When I put my legs inside and walk inside the cage, I say, oh my gosh, I'm back to fight. Thank you, God.
And one last question. It was a little different seeing you walk out to a different song. I know your son sang the song, wrote the song. You're a very proud father.
I'm very surprised because first of all, I talked to Ed and I'd say, oh, I don't think so, this is happening. And I say, okay, that's fine. And when I stay in my room for walking and my son's coming, and I'd say, this is a surprise for you. And when I listen the song to my son, I say, oh my gosh, thank you. I'm so happy today.
The UFC has always liked that you come out to that song by DMX. Was it hard to convince them to let you do this? And what are you thinking as a father?
DMX is the song the DMX is part for my story inside the cage, inside UFC. But I think this time is very important, I'm very surprised because my son working a lot for this song for me, and it's a good present for me. I'm very emotional. I need to say thank you, Khalil. Thank you.
Those 2 boys that walked out with you, are they your sons?
Yes, Khalil
Okay.
and Gabriel.
So to walk out and your son's singing as a father, are you even thinking of that, or are you so in the moment that you can't
A
recognize?
little press
Yeah.
for me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because my sons stay together me all the time, and Gabriel helped me when I train boxing because he's a good boxer, and Khalil helped me sometimes. Don't like fight, but he have a good talent. But I'm so happy because my sons stay together me for a long time when I go inside the fight, and it's part of my life. This is my best. My 2 sons is my best, and of course, Kaori, Kawana, and João. But these 2 boys stay all the time together me, help me a lot.
Thank you.
Anderson over here. You shared a moment while you're waiting for the judges to read the scores. You were sitting on the mat with Derek Brunson. I was just wondering if you could shed a little bit of light what you guys talked about in that moment.
Aquele momento que você se ajoelhou ali com o Derek Brunson, o que vocês estavam conversando?
No, I just say, Derek, thank you so much. Thank you. You know, this is today you prove for everybody here how much you respect this sport, you know, and I say thank you for opportunity because you fight me, you know, and Derek Brunson is a good boy, and I have a great future inside the cage in UFC.
Anderson, aqui na frente. O Jacaré e o Glover falavam que você, em dado momento na luta, lembrou muito o Anderson da época de campeão, com muitos golpes plásticos, rodados. Você teve essa percepção também naquele momento? E de onde veio aquela ginga ali, que até o Jacaré falou que veio da capoeira? Foi alguma coisa de momento ou já foi alguma coisa pensada?
Quando eu estou ali dentro, eu estou feliz. Quando eu estou ali dentro, eu estou ali para me divertir, independente do que muito ficou na cabeça das pessoas, em que eu brinco demais, etc. Não é nada disso. Quando eu estou ali dentro, eu estou tentando... É o único lugar de verdade que eu posso expressar toda a minha felicidade e voltar a ser criança. Então, eu procuro ser o mais feliz possível ali dentro.
Anderson, to your left. There you go. I know you said you want to take some time off, be with your family, but the UFC is expected to go to Brazil in June for UFC 212. Right now it's Jose Aldo and Max Holloway. Would you have any interest in potentially fighting in that event, going home to Brazil?
Maybe. Now I go back to home, but maybe, you know. Surprise. Pegadinha do malandro. Não sei, vamos esperar.